Hi everyone, so welcome to another academic video. In this one I want to tackle a topic that, happens as a member of the teaching staff at a university, and that is how do you effectively help students that are failing? So I've got my cup of tea for this one because it's an important topic. So if you're new, hi, my name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer, and part of my job is research, but part of my job as well is teaching. And so I deliver my own lecture courses, but I also am the personal tutor to students as they go through their university journey. And that's going to include points in time where a student may need to come to me as their tutor because they're having course difficulties. And it's a big thing, I think, as a university academic, is ensuring that we are able and providing the needed and appropriate support to our undergraduates, our students, people that we're mentoring as they go through their university journey. So first things first, what do we really mean by failing? Well, a student may be undertaking several modules for a semester, and all of them might be going really well apart from one. And maybe for a particular student, it's just one course that they're having complexities with or difficulties with. Alternatively, you could have a student who's doing the modules and there's an external influence or something happening outside, and that's meaning that that student cannot engage with their university work at that point in time the way they would like to. And sometimes you may get a student who, for whatever reason, is just not either enjoying, understanding the course, it's not a good fit for them, and they may be just therefore struggling to pass the course content across a number of modules. So I think one of the first things that I do is I try to work with a student to look in and reflect and go, okay, so are we dealing with a single coursework thing that's caused us an issue? Is it the whole module that's causing an issue? Or is it something actually much bigger that's affecting a number of modules within a semester? And I think as the tutor, it's important that I recognise that I can't and shouldn't necessarily offer solutions to fix a problem, if you like. Sometimes my role is much more about signposting the student to find the relevant support within the university structure for them. And so what I mean by this is if a student were to come to me and were to confide a personal difficulty or a personal problem that is impacting their studies, as the tutor then I don't try to solve that student's problem. They have a particular personal problem that I'm probably not equipped to try to solve. But what I can do is I can work with the students so they have the full support of the university's wider resources. So that could be understanding the welfare centre, working with the students' union who have wellbeing and welfare support, looking at the places that a student can go to within the campus or the university to get additional support or guidance. We have several hub centres that you can go into when you have a problem or a difficulty to be able to talk it through. It could be saying, do we need to bring a GP into this situation? And then from the kind of the scholarly academic point of view, making sure the student is aware about the processes that university have in place to support you through those difficult times with your studies. So like extenuating circumstances. Do you need to put in a request to delay your assessment, or would you like to put in a request to take that examination at a different time within the calendar year? So I think my role as an academic, as a tutor, as a lecturer, often isn't actually about fixing the very specific problem, but it's working with the student to signpost and guide them to resources where they can get the assistance that they need. You know, and as a student, it's very easy to be not consumed, but for the course to be everything. You know, it can feel like the course is taking over every moment of every day, and therefore when you don't succeed at a part of that course, it can really impact you as an individual. You know, so if you are used to passing essays for your course and then suddenly the module throws up an essay and you don't pass it, it can be a huge jolt to yourself. You can have a bit of a confidence jolt. You can worry that you're not understanding the material correctly, that you're not going to be able to pass therefore the overall module. It can be quite unsettling, I think. And so something else that I do is, I work with students to say that not every part of every course is going to be easy or smooth or totally accessible for you to learn straight away. You know, we're all different. We all learn in different ways. We all enjoy different aspects of learning. We all enjoy fundamentally different parts of a course. And so just because a friend is finding that particular module easy or that particular coursework really straightforward, it doesn't mean that you as a student have to be having the same feelings. You know, you could find a part of the course very challenging that maybe somebody else finds easy, and then vice versa. You might find part of the course really easy that somebody else finds very challenging. And so I think, again, it's that recognition that when you are a student going through the student journey, if that's a better word, you know, all the different modules that you take, every student going through will have a personal experience of that university degree course. And as part of the teaching team at a university, my job is to help students maximise their own individual journey. And sometimes it will go swimmingly and easily, and sometimes there may be, now failure is a big word, but there may be difficulties and failures, and you may not pass every single piece of coursework. But that doesn't mean that you then can't continue on the journey. And so again, as a tutor, I need to make sure that I understand the rules of the university. What happens if you pass everything bar one module? Most universities will have past compensation rules. There may be possibilities to take pieces of coursework or examinations again. Quite often we have these things called late summer assessment periods. So if you fail something in the main examination period, you can have a second attempt at it in the late summer assessment period. But there's rules to do with that. You have to be below a certain number of module credits failings in order to get into the late summer assessment period. When you take a resit, if it's for a second attempt, that mark is typically capped. So you have a maximum mark that you can get. If you're taking that examination as a first attempt within the late summer assessment period, then that mark won't be capped. And so as a tutor, I just make sure that I know all these different details so that when a student comes to me and they've got an issue or a problem, I'm able to advise them correctly, or at least then know the places that they need to go to get the next step and the next piece of advice. So yeah, I guess in summary, as a academic lecturer in the UK, my job does include research and teaching, and there's lots of fun moments with the teaching, but an important point of the teaching, I think, is being that support for students when things aren't going well, when things maybe are not turning out how they wanted to, or they are failing something, and helping them find the right sources of information and pieces of advice to get through so they can get back onto a successful journey. And that could be as much as saying, okay, you failed that one bit of coursework, but it doesn't matter because your overall module mark, you're fine, you're going to pass the module, don't worry about it, to actually, yes, this maybe isn't quite the right degree course for you, and maybe we should look maybe at whether you want to consider transferring or doing something slightly different. And then pointing out that failing is just a part of the puzzle. We all attempt things, we all fail at some point in our lives, no matter how much we don't want to. Failure is sometimes around the corner. But I think it's supporting as a tutor to say that failure doesn't have to mean disaster. You know, you can fail at something and still have a successful outcome if you're, you know, you're supported and helped and guided, and then you just take things in the right way. Very deep, this video this week. Very, I'm not going to say philosophical, because I can't say the word, philosophical, and B, you know, I'm not trained in providing any kind of deep thoughts like this. It's just, you know, as a personal tutor, that's what I try to do. I just try to do the best I can to help the students as they work through their degree programmes. But let me know, I mean, have you experienced failure as a student? Are you an academic supporting student who are undergoing failure? You know, what do you do in those situations? Leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. Have a really good week. I will stop waving my cup of tea around. Haven't spilled any, which is quite miraculous, but have a lovely week. And I'll see you next Monday for another academic video. Bye.